This is the Scorecard, where you score the latest sports news and in-depth views. I'm Anton Roxas. On the Scorecard tonight, food, family, football. That's the Golden Thanksgiving Triangle, and the Scorecard is serving 3 football games tonight. Busy weekend for the UAAP as men's basketball begins its Final Four and the Cheerdance competition gets underway. Take a quick peek of the upcoming NCAA Finals, the first time in 20 years without San Beda or Letran. All that and more on the Scorecard tonight, the 29th of November. By the way, Gyra Barroga will also be here on the show. Now, let's go to our roundup. Thanksgiving and the NFL are a duo as iconic as turkey and stuffing. It all started back in 1934, 90 years ago, when the Detroit Lions decided to host a Thanksgiving game. Their goal, to lure fans away from their holiday feasts and into the stands. The plan worked, and the Lions have been nearly inseparable from Thanksgiving ever since, becoming as traditional as pumpkin pie. Today, the Detroit Lions are 11-1 for the first time in history, and the Chicago Bears dropped to 4-8 at the start of Week 13. The spirit of Thanksgiving fired up the crowd, but it was the perplexing end that got fans talking. The Bears were trailing by only 3 points after a sack, but with a timeout left, they let the clock run down too far, and quarterback Caleb Williams threw incomplete on the final play. The Lions ended up getting the 23-20 win. Seen watching the game was American gymnastics star Simone Biles, there to watch and spend Thanksgiving with her husband, Jonathan Owens of the Chicago Bears. Sana all. Back to our stories. In 1966, the Dallas Cowboys, looking for some holiday magic to boost their visibility, jumped on the Thanksgiving bandwagon. Their games quickly became a fan favorite and carved out their own piece of Thanksgiving history. Today, the Dallas Cowboys had reason for Thanksgiving after getting their first home win in almost a year. They ran the ball to beat the New York Giants for the 8th straight time, 27-20. It is also the Cowboys' second back-to-back victory of the season and their first Thanksgiving win in 8 years. By 2006, the NFL decided that 2 games weren't enough for a football feast. So, they added a 3rd game in prime time, making sure that fans could enjoy a full day of gridiron glory. Today was no exception as the Green Bay Packers won its 3rd straight with a quick start against the cold-hampered Miami Dolphins, 30-17. Miami tried to rally, but it was too little too late. In the local scene, LaSalle and UP are 1 win away from meeting in the finals for the 2nd consecutive season. But first, they need to take care of some Final Four business. The Archers led the elimination round with a 12-2 record, while the Maroons followed closely at 11-3. This 1-2 placing earned them twice to beat advantages. UP will face 3rd-seeded UST Growling Tigers, while LaSalle will take on 4th-ranked Adamson Falcons, fresh from its conquest of the UE Red Warriors in the knockout playoff for 4th. Both league leaders swept their semifinal counterparts in the eliminations. For Coach Topex Robinson, Goldwyn Monteverde, Pido Harencio, and Nash Racela, there is only one goal, the finals. LaSalle and UP may have to be taken down twice, but who's to say if Adamson and UST are fated to score 1 or 2 upsets? Now, after tomorrow's exciting race to the finals, pump up the volume some more. On Sunday, with the annual UAAP Cheerdance competition, here's what to expect at the Mall of Asia Arena. The Ateneo Blue Eagles will present a cosmic tale about the universe's origin. The University of the East Pep Squad will feature hits from the iconic Sex Bomb dancers. 90s nostalgia will be University of Santo Tomas Salengawi Dance Group's theme, while the Adamson University Pep Squad will perform to beloved karaoke classics. UP Varsity Pep Squad will give us summer vibes. National University Pep Squad will have a space-themed routine. De La Salle Animo Squad will present a battle-themed spectacle. Then, the defending champion FEU Cheering Squad promises a jaw-dropping finale. Also on Sunday, the men's basketball tournament of the 100th season of the NCAA will have Game 1 of the best-of-3 finals at the Araneta Coliseum. Let's meet the contenders. The Mapúa Cardinals closed out the eliminations on top with a 15-3 card before Clint Escamis led Mapúa University to an 89-79 victory over Lyceum of the Philippines University in the Final Four last Saturday. Now, the St. Benilde Blazers ended next to Mapúa at the end of the eliminations with 14 wins against 4 losses before MVP frontrunner Allen Liwag's takeover powered the Blazers over the Red Lions 79-63 in the other Final Four game last Saturday. Both teams have a win and a loss to the other in the elimination round. St. Benilde won in the first round, but Mapúa got back at the SGA-backed squad in the second round. In both matches, the team who closed out strong won the game. Checking out the numbers, we see that the Blazers have made the most of their advantage in size and dominated in most statistical areas, including assists. It looks like the Cardinals will need to take the game outside, at least in offense. CSB coach Charles Tew knows very well that he has the deeper bench, but Mapúa coach Randy Alcantara is no quitter, and their teams are both raring to taste sweet victory. I'll see you in the NCAA Finals. Now for our daily dose of sports lingo. Just as a turkey is desirable during Thanksgiving, so it is too in bowling. Why? Because a turkey is 3 strikes in a row and adds 30 points to the frame that the turkey was made. No one knows exactly how that came about, but 3 strikes must have won a bowler or a turkey. Won the bowler a turkey for defeat. So that's a turkey. 3 straight strikes. Then there's turkey bowling. Yes, apparently it is a thing. Bowlers use a frozen butterball turkey for a ball and then liquid-filled beverage bottles as pins. Insane, but good, clean fun. Happy Thanksgiving to our friends in the USA. It's time for our off-court buzzer. Yesterday, we saw how Phil-Am Jalen Puruganan Green helped win the game for the Houston Rockets with a season-high 41 points. Now, what we didn't know was that another player of Filipino ancestry played awesomely in that game. If you haven't heard, the Rookie of the Year frontrunner for the second week in a row, who is making the best of his star teammates' absence in the Philadelphia 76ers bench, Jared McCain, claims to be part Filipino. A locker room video published on Reddit is making the rounds on the internet, with the young multi-race American making the claim. McCain's father, Lance, is African-American, while his mother, Gina, is white. Where he got the idea that he is part Filipino is worth finding out.
Shout out my Asian community, though.
So what?
Shout out my Asian community.
Do you think Jared's Asian, Bona?
Jared is Asian?
I am.
What's he?
Filipino.
Oh, Filipino.
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
I mean, only like probably 10%, but that counts, right?
So, what do you think, guys? Do you think he is trolling us? He's born and raised in California, so he must have met quite a lot of Filipinos. Maybe it's wishful thinking, I don't know, or a sneaky way to grow his already more than 4 million social media audience.
Yeah? Nah. Filipino? Yes, sir.
Uy! Philippines! Philippines!
Oh boy, I sure hope he's not Filipino baiting. Okay, pop quiz. Who said, kung ayaw mong masaktan, mag-chess ka na lang? It's none other than the living legend of Philippine basketball, Robert the Big J Jaworski. His grandson learned that lesson the hard way when playing basketball with his grandfather. He got the elbow on the lip. And just before he could cry, the Big J said, ano ka ba? It's part of the game. Check the ball. Robert Jaworski, or Robbie Jaworski, son of Pasig Vice Mayor Dudut Jaworski and former Asian Games gold medalist Mikey Coanco, shared this bit from his childhood in journalist Karen Davila's latest vlog. Now trying his hand at show business, Robbie may have his legendary Lolo toughness, but he's now counting on another thing that made the Big J a living legend, and that's his charisma. And that's our roundup for tonight, the 29th of November. When we return, we'll find out what's been up with Gyra Barroga these days. So watch out for that here on The Scorecard. Volleyball has dominated the local sports fandom these past few years, and even players just can't get enough of the scene. And here to tell us more about that is a fan favorite for her infectious energy. I don't think that's how I will describe our guest for tonight. Please welcome Gyra Barroga. Hello, 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 hello. Thank you, thank you. Welcome. Have a seat. Infectious energy. I don't think that's how I would describe you, Gyra.
Well,
Ikaw ba?
Anton, come on. Bullying energy ako pag si Anton yung kasama ko, guys.
Bullying energy. Oh, yeah, that's more you. Okay. Gyra, volleyball is life. Kasi, di ba, your dad's a volleyball coach, si Coach Edgar, who's coaching San Beda right now. You played for one of the most legendary coaches in Philippine volleyball history, Coach Ramil De Jesus in LaSalle. Won a championship in the UAAP. We worked together covering the NCAA as commentators. Pero, you know, ano pa bang nangyayari ngayon sa buhay ni Gyra Barroga?
Well, right now, I'm really into social media, but I'm also a full-time analyst at the moment. So, it's very true that volleyball is life talaga.
Okay, you said you're an analyst right now, and recently, usap-usapan sa social media yung mga nangyari in the Shakey's League that features, of course, the collegiate team. So, kumbaga, ito yung preview bago magsimula yung NCAA and the UAAP. Could you tell us about your experience covering that? And syempre, ano ba yung mga top headlines that happened during that league?
Well, it was definitely a new experience because it was my first time covering both NCAA and UAAP in one league combined. So I really saw what the NCAA teams brought, the fight that they brought, especially CSB, the only NCAA team who reached the second round, actually. So I think they reached 6th place in the Shakey Super League. And for, of course, the UAAP teams, I'm really excited to see what's in the upcoming UAAP coming next year. Okay,
so ang pinaka-highlight of that tournament, of course, yung labanan sa pagitan ng NU at ng LaSalle, your former school. Is it hard for you na, alam mo yun, di ba, Lasaliano ka, Lady Spiker, we know how proud all the Lady Spikers are to have been a part of that program. Mahirap ba na mag-cover ng team ni Coach Ramil, Coach Noel Orculio, and of course, the current batch of Lady Spikers?
Well, even though I'm a Lady Spiker, once a Lady Spiker, always a Lady Spiker, I think I'm a volleyball fan at heart. So what I was just focusing on, like you said, volleyball is life. What I was just focusing on was just storytelling on what's happening in the game. Pero syempre, behind the scenes, medyo, ayan na nga. Medyo behind the scenes, ang hirap na hindi mag-react. So even though we're on air, may mga little interactions ako with my anchor na medyo nahahampas ko siya, ganon. Kasi, of course, when you're on air and it's a very intense match, it's kind of hard to not react behind the scenes.
We're seeing some of your highlights when you were playing here in the PVL 2022 Open Conference. Right now, you're currently taking a break. Ang lakas cross court. You're taking a break from volleyball as of this moment. With regards to the game of volleyball, namimiss mo ba?
Well, definitely. I miss the intensity of being inside the court, of being in that match wherein there's 6 players on the court, their energy and the grit, everything inside the court. I miss it. But right now, being a volleyball analyst, seeing it from another perspective, I think I'm actually maturing a lot more and learning a lot more from the outside.
Natatawa ako because I just saw 3 people who are actually, covering the game. Si Carly, nandyan. Si Jamie La Victoria is also an analyst na. And you guys are all playing on the team there.
Well, you can see very infectious energy nga ata ako dyan, Anton.
Okay, going back to Shakey's, Gyra, sino ang mga players na dapat abangan natin sa next UAAP season from NU and LaSalle?
Well, you can't count out the season's MVP, Bella Belen, who was just incredible in the Shaky Super League. But her rival, I would say, from DLSU would be always Angel Canino, who did a superb job as well. So I think it's still gonna be a huge matchup. But also seeing UST actually performing in FEU, there are a lot of big names coming in na makikita natin talaga na very competitive. It's hard to tell who's gonna be on top.
Wow. And what about the NCAA? Early preview, we're going to be covering the NCAA together. Malakas pa ba ang Benilde? Like, kasi syempre yung batch nina Chloe Mondoñedo, Chloan Mondoñedo, they already graduated. Sina Mitch Gamit, Gail Pascual, they're already playing in the PVL. So, may mga pumalit ba sa kanila na will help them defend the championship?
Well, they are a rebuilding team, I would say. Of course, losing those big names is such a big factor. But then again, Aya Maiden Singh, who came in for CSB, she was just playing so well. She was trying to find her footing in the earlier Shaky Super League, and then coming back in, I think she was the star of the team. And then you also have Basarte, who was carrying the team as well. In for Mondoñedo. So it's a different lineup, but I think CSB is still the team to beat.
Okay, what's her name again? Singh? Aya
Maiden Singh.
Aya Maiden Singh. All right, we will remember that name, especially to all of the NCAA fans na nanonood ngayon. So, because you are here for the very first time and because hindi pa natin ginagawa to in the history of the scorecard, but we've done it for other sports, we will do it dahil nandito si Gyra Barroga. And I actually don't know kung bakit ko ginagawa to because I am subjecting myself to all the hate and the bashing, but that's okay because I know volleyball fans are very, very, outspoken pagdating sa social media. And you know what? Bakit pa ako matatakot? I have my #1 basher here on the show, Gyra Barroga. Let's go to our top 5. Tonight, I will be giving my top 5 players sa ngayon sa PVL All-Filipino Conference in the first 10 match days, ha? So, hindi ito forever. Ito yung top 5, ha? Okay, gusto ko lang iklaro, ha? Hindi forever. Magbabago pa to. This is after the first 10 match days, November 10. As of November 29. Yeah, November 29.
Okay, yeah, because November 30 tomorrow.
Okay.
And can I just say, kinakabahan ako kasi knowing Anton Roxas, wow, this might be controversial.
Okay, let's start with number 5. I am going to drop everything now. Give it to me. Here we go. Bam! CC Rondina.
Okay, well.
21 points per game. #1 scorer right now in the PVL. 84 points all in all. The only problem with Choco Mucho is the record is 2-2. But CC Rondina, you cannot leave her out of the top 5.
Well, she really deserves to be in the top 5 because you can't count her out, like you said. She made an impact, such a big impact when she came in Choco Mucho, an energizer, top scorer. I mean, she really deserves to be in that top 5.
Mapabuhangin, mapataraflex. Iba, lumilipad itong si CC Rondina. Let's go to number 4. She is a player that can be MVP in any league because she does it all. She can spike, she can block, she can lead, she can defend as well. Let's go. Give it to me right here. Number 4. Bam! Brooke Van Sickle of the Petrogas Angels. You're smiling, Gyra. You kind of like my pick so far.
I love his pick so far because...
I'm shocked.
Well, I think Anton really based it on the statistics.
Yes, and the records
I'm seeing
also.
It.
Kaya ko linagay si Brooke dyan. She could be in the top 3 eh. Kaya lang, natalo sila sa Creamline and she was limited to just 18 points against the Creamline Cool Smashers. Let's go to number 3, and this player is the only setter para sa akin dito sa listahan na to. Number 3, give it to me. Former FEU, Lady Tamarao, Jel Cayuna. Ayan. From the Cignal HD Spikers, #1 setter, #1 server ngayon.
Well, I would really be surprised if she's not in your top 5. Because she definitely is in my top 5 because she's an attacking setter. She does everything and she's just the brain inside the court and she's just maximizing all her spikers. So she deserves to be there.
Number 2, this is a player na medyo bago pagdating sa Philippine volleyball. We did not mention her name a lot. She only arrived last season, pero she's averaging 21.3 points per game for the still unbeaten PLDT high-speed hitters. Give it to me at number 2, Savvy Davison. Grabe. I mean, bago lang siya with regards to Philippine volleyball playing here in the Philippines, but she has been absolutely great for PLDT.
Well, she's one of the top scorers here for PLDT, and there's a reason why they're undefeated right now, and we can actually see the teamwork happening inside the court and how much she's carrying her teammates. So right now, Anton, I would say, wala akong mababash sa top 5 mo.
This is the first time in history na hindi ako binabash ni Gyra Barroga. Pero sa lahat ng mga nanonood ngayon, let us know your top 5 and if you agree with my number 1. And of course, number 1 has to come from the defending champions. Unbeaten right now, 2-0, the Creamline Cool Smashers. Gyra, sabay tayo. Here we go, number 1. Bam! Gemma Galanza, who recently celebrated her birthday. Happy birthday to Gemma Galanza.
Happy birthday, Ate Gemma. Okay, first of all, she is literally everywhere inside the court. Okay, I would say she's one of the most improved players in the PVL, coming from, of course, the Lady Falcons, and then coming into the PVL for a champion team here for the Creamline Cool Smashers. I think she really deserves to be top 1 because her defense is always on point. Her service receive, I would say, very deserving for top 1.
Ang hirap pumili from Creamline dahil ang daming malakas eh. You have Tots Carlos, Kyle Negrito has been playing so well. Of course, Michelle Gumabao, former Lady Spiker as well. Eto, ang aking top 5 sa ngayon as of November 29, 2024, first 10 match days. Again, this list can change as we go along. Gyra, final message to everybody watching right now, and of course, comment mo dito. I'm surprised hindi mo ako binash ngayon sa mga pinili ko.
Kasi guys, backstory, lagi kong binabash si Anton every time na nag-NCAA, off-cam lalo na. But you know what? He really did his assignment. He based it all on the stats. So congratulations, Anton. I think job well done.
Okay, I appreciate that, and we can shake on that. Gyra, thank you so much for the time, and looking forward to working with you soon, covering more volleyball, because as you said, volleyball is life. Gyra Barroga here tonight on the BNC studio for the Scorecard. And when the Scorecard returns, the NBA returns from a Thanksgiving break, so be sure to keep your eyes on the prize. Welcome back to the Scorecard. It's time to keep your eyes on the prize. We'll break down the upcoming matchups to deliver key insights that might just give you the edge you need to stay ahead of the game. Saturday, November 30 at 3:30 a.m. Aga, Philippine time, live from the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. It's an Emirates NBA Cup showdown as the Cleveland Cavaliers take on the Atlanta Hawks. Good game. Just 2 nights ago, Trae Young and the Hawks pulled off a stunning upset, defeating the Cavaliers 135-124. Young dished out an NBA season-high 22 assists and added 20 points to help the Hawks snap a 3-game losing streak. DeAndre Hunter led the scoring for Atlanta with 26 points, while rookie Zachary Risacher showed his promise with 17 points. For the Cavaliers, Donovan Mitchell dropped 30 points and Evan Mobley contributed a double-double with 22 points and 13 rebounds. But it wasn't enough to protect their perfect home record. The loss dropped Cleveland to 17-2 on the season, but they remain the top team in the Eastern Conference. Cleveland enters this game as 4-point favorites, aiming to bounce back from their rare loss. The over-under for this game is set at 245. Trae Young's playmaking against the Cavaliers' defense, anchored by Jarrett Allen, who leads his team in rebounding at 11 per game. On the other end, Donovan Mitchell and Mobley will look to exploit Atlanta's defensive gaps and regain their dominance. Injuries could play a crucial role in this rematch. The Hawks list Trae Young as questionable, while the Cavaliers will be without Max Strus and Emily Bates. With Atlanta riding the high of a statement win and the Cavaliers looking for revenge, who will come out on top in this high-stakes encounter? And live at Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles, California, it's the Emirates NBA Cup showdown between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Los Angeles Lakers. Tip-off is set for 11 a.m. Philippine time. The Oklahoma City Thunder, holding a stellar 14-4 record and sitting first in the Western Conference, will continue or look to continue their hot streak. In their last game, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander exploded for 35 points as the Thunder edged the Golden State Warriors 105-101. SGA is averaging an impressive 29.2 points per game this season, solidifying his position as one of the league's elite scorers. Meanwhile, the Los Angeles Lakers bring an 11-7 record to this matchup, currently 5th in the West. Anthony Davis and LeBron James led the charge in a dominant 119-101 victory over the San Antonio Spurs. Davis had a double-double with 19 points and 14 rebounds, while LeBron added a triple-double performance with 16 points, 11 assists, and 10 rebounds. The Lakers come in as light favorites with a -1 point spread. The over-under for this game is set at 229.5, promising an electrifying matchup with plenty of scoring firepower on both sides. The Thunder will look to maintain their defensive edge as they've held opponents to 42.1% shooting this season, while the Lakers boast a highly efficient offense, shooting 48.2% from the field. Will SGA and the Thunder continue to dominate in the West, or can AD and LeBron lead the Lakers to a statement win in front of their home crowd? This Emirates NBA Cup matchup promises to be a thrilling affair. And that wraps up tonight's preview, so you can keep your eyes on the prize. And we have updates. In the Spikers Turf Invitational Conference at the United Sports Arena in Pasig City, the Cignal HD Spikers wrapped up their elimination round campaign with a 25-22, 25-21, 25-18 victory over the PGJC Navy Sea Lions. The victory marked their 7th straight win. Then, the Savuj Spin Doctors sealed their place in the semifinals with a 25-23, 29-27, 25-18 victory over the Eco Oil LaSalle Green Oilers. And in the PBA Commissioner's Cup at the Ninoy Aquino Stadium, Akil Anthony Mitchell beat the clock to lead the Meralco Bolts to a 111-109 win over the Phoenix Fuel Masters. In the later game, visiting Eastern stayed unbeaten with a win over the Converge Fiber Xers 117-106. Now before we go, think on this. From the NFL's all-time leading rusher, Emmitt Smith, he says, "I may win and I may lose, but I will never be defeated." And with that, thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you again here next week on The Scorecard, where sports is our business and business is our sport, right here on the Bilyonaryo News Channel. This has been Anton Roxas. Have a blessed evening. Good night. Happy weekend.